one thing I would like to say, and that is that if you have ever gone into some of our neighborhoods and listened to the language of our young people, I watched over the holiday weekend Boys in the Hood because I bought the tape. And they talked like some of the youngsters I have seen in areas perhaps that we would not enter. So a lot of them are singing about their lifestyles. If I hear those kind of records, I usually turn them over or turn them off. But what I want us to do is to accept part of the responsibility. And we can't blame everything that our youth are into on someone else. And so that we must look at this crisis and understand that it is the result of neglect.
That's right.
It is the result of greed.
That's right.
It is the result of misuse. And it is the result of a lot of us not really recognizing the oppression that exists. I can remember my mother when I was going off to school, had attended Bethel AME Church all of my life. And I got down to Tuskegee. And I finally understood what my mother was trying to tell me at the train station. But I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to make my own decisions. I wanted to be rid of her trying to tell me what to do. And I was 16, and by now knew what I wanted to do. And what she was trying to tell me was about the racism in the South. Not that it did not exist in Detroit, but you live under a kind of protection when you're with your parents. And the train stopped on a hill. And the guy said to me, come on. And I said, how am I going to get down there? He said, jump. No stool, no anything. I knew instantly what my mother was talking about. But yet, when I tried to get answers from her about the treatment, about the oppression, about the racism, about the select treatment, she didn't want to deal with it. She wanted to not talk about it so that it would go away. And I've seen some of the same signs that a lot of adults have not really listened to their children and have not really understood what they are going through. So that I think that we have neglected them too long. Okay. And we've got to resurrect that.
The incredible Betty Shabazz. You know, she was so solid. And with Malcolm dying at 39, she could have easily went out there and got remarried. You know, he died relatively young man. You know, let's go back home. He died a relatively young man, so she could have easily said, I still want a father for my children. I want a father figure. But then again, how you gonna follow up Malcolm X? I mean, you could be a solid motherfucker. You could be one of the most solid out here. I'm not talking solidity. There was plenty of motherfuckers out there that she could have married that would have been solid. But how do you follow up Malcolm? And Betty Shabazz lived a life as a crusader for justice. She basically just carried the torch for Malcolm in Malcolm's spirit. And it got to the point where I'm sure it was overwhelming. I'm sure it was overwhelming. I'm sure it was too much to handle from the day he died to the day she died. I mean, it was just on her head. Malcolm X's widow. It's like Coretta Scott King. It's like Myrlie Evers. I mean, how do you can't follow up them cats? If I'm not mistaken, Myrlie Evers didn't get remarried. Coretta Scott King didn't get remarried. Betty Shabazz didn't remarry. How do you follow up them motherfuckers? You know, I mean, it may be a situation like Vanessa Bryant is in. Who the fuck gonna come behind Kobe? The Mamba's widow. How do you take yourself to the point of even thinking about coming in following Kobe? You can't say you don't know who she is. But I think they didn't remarry, not just because they didn't seek trying to find love. I don't go. I don't know. They didn't seek out trying to find love. I don't think they probably were ever really approached. I mean, shit. I don't think they were ever approached. That's what that was. Where'd her go? Motherfucker's sitting in my pocket. I'm feeling for it. It's like it was jumping around or something. Betty Shabazz grew up right before the boomer generation. Right before the boomer generation. See, the boomer generation did some fucked up shit out here. Yes, they did. The boomer generation did some fucked up shit. Because the boomer generation basically just mirrored what Betty Shabazz's generation was, which was the silent generation. The silent generation. Think about it. She said her mother shielded her from racism. Didn't teach her about it. They just stayed silent on it. They just didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about all the detriment that was out there and that she was going to incur. They just stayed silent on it. And that walked a lot of people right into the civil rights movement, ignorant as fuck. Ignorant as fuck. They knew what they were about to encounter because they had just encountered it and they didn't say shit to their kids and their kids went into it and the kids went into it with a more fighter spirit. See, the silent generation, you gotta think about it, the silent generation, they didn't fight it, they didn't teach their kids to fight it, but the kids became fighters by default. Through ignorance. Civil rights movement started through ignorance. Because they hadn't been taught. You realize that's how you got here? You got here because of some ignorant folk. They wanted to be enlightened. They wanted to know some shit. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. You understand me? I don't know shit but what I know. And I know that if the baby boomer generation and the silent generation wouldn't have stayed silent and wouldn't have just focused on trying to raise a family, in the box. You got to stay in the box. That's what baby boomers are about, being in the box. Silent just stayed silent. It didn't matter if they was in the box, out of the box. They didn't say shit anyway. So, if those two generations had stood up, the civil rights movement would have probably started a lot earlier. we would have gotten a lot further with a lot less people in this bitch. Because you got to understand, shit got watered down when more motherfuckers started being here. When it was just black and white, we really started moving along. Because hell, if it was just them and us, easy to focus on. But when you start adding in folks, I'm talking about adding in motherfuckers. Before 1965, immigration was less than 1%. So a trickle here, trickle there, trickle there. No big deal. We can take them trickles. But when they opened up the floodgates and said everybody and your mama can come over to this bitch, and if you come over here fucked up, we'll still let you stay and give you some passes and shit. They gave motherfuckers hall passes. No, you come over here fucked up and don't get your paperwork right, your ass go back home. Just like in school, if you didn't have your permission slip, you couldn't go on the field trip. No slip, no trip. In this case, no slip, take a trip. Eat a dick. They let motherfuckers come over here and live a lifetime. Illegitimate. You got this, you got that, you got that. You all need to get married, you can just stay. What? Motherfucker come to this country and get a driver's license in 30 days. They made my black ass wait 16 years. And your black ass, and your black ass, and your white ass, everybody. Shit. Fucking around. They like black people the only ones wait 16 years to get a driver's license. But a motherfucker can come in from another country and be here 30 motherfucking days and have a driver's license in the United States. He got just as much clout as you do. After a calendar month. How does that make you feel? What it took you 16 years to earn, it took them 30 days and an address. God bless America. Being a fighter doesn't always mean you have to be at war. Betty Shabazz proved that. Coretta Scott King proved that. Myrlie Evers proved that. The widows, the wives, the mothers of their children, the lovers of Medgar Evers, of Martin Luther King, of Malcolm X. So there was all that to them brothers. All that. And when they kill them, they want to call them ex-wives. That's not their ex-wife. They still married when you killed them. That's their wife. They're not their ex-wife. See, as soon as you put an X on it, that means she's free to go get somebody else. They never accepted that X shit. Who gonna walk in them motherfuckers' shoes? 2021, we got to do the same thing she was talking about doing back in the early 90s. Got to get a hold of this generation. A lot of y'all neglecting these kids. You know, I feel like I should have been more progressive with mine. You know, you deal with that blended situation. You deal with the, the biracial situation. You know, it's totally different. But see, if I had it to do all over, I don't give a fuck if they are beige, goddammit. I would be much more forceful now than I was then. And I wouldn't have had them motherfucking years that I spent in that fucking church. I didn't tell you I had to do all, no. Do over, no church. We in a whole different motherfucking space. I might still be making videos, but I might be kicked back with my toes in the sand doing it. Yeah. Sometimes when you make some stops, you get derailed. You get knocked off the track. And I made some stops I shouldn't have made. Yep. But it's all good. We here now. We here now, nigga. So in this Women's Month, I appreciate Ro posting that with them captions on them, because it is Women's Month. Like I said, I don't know the origin of it. Maybe I'll do some digging on that before the next video. Maybe not. But I'm going to salute it and I'm going to celebrate it for women of African descent. I was made by a black woman. I was raised by a black woman. I produce black women. Why wouldn't I do that? It's just another made-up holiday. So if it's just another made-up holiday, I can make my own rules up. And when I need to salute specific women, like women in my family, I'll do that. And all family ain't blood. So I might salute Ray. I might salute O. You know? I might salute G. Natty, she's 16, but she's still a woman. She a young one. It is what it is, dog. I mean, I don't know why it's Women's Month, but since it is Women's Month, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate. We're going to commemorate. I'll do all that. Know the way my cadence started, motherfuckers probably thought I was about to rhyme. So I said, we're going to celebrate, we're going to commemorate. We ain't going to placate. I don't need you to make a day. On my lives, nigga, don't be late. Either way, I ain't going to hate. And much love to everybody creating content out there that's worth the shit. Like I said, it don't matter that I'm only getting 30, 40 views right now on my shits. I know you hear me. And to the motherfuckers that's out there scurrying, trying to figure it out still, if your shit was about something, you wouldn't be trying to figure it out. I'm out here doing this shit on my own. You motherfuckers got like real backing, and you still suck. You got some real money behind you, and you still suck. And I'm not a hater. I don't give a fuck about how many subscribers you do have. What I'm concerned about is the content you put out. See, I got less than 400 subscribers, and I put out the real shit. You might have 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers, and you putting out some bullshit. And even to the motherfuckers that's got 300, 400 subscribers, stop putting out that bullshit. You still irritating ears on a lower level, closer to mine. But just like the motherfuckers that got them big platforms, and you putting bullshit into the atmosphere. Black people ain't got time for that shit. You know where we at? You know how we living? Come on, man. I mean, I love to be entertained. I love to laugh with the best of them. But sometimes we got to get serious. When we getting written out of this motherfucking plan. And if we get written out of the plan, we're going to end up on a plantation. Again. Get serious with your shit. Shit. Motherfuckers just want to clown all day, every day. Symbolism, symbolism, symbolism. I don't get it. I don't get it. But then again, I do. Clown's gonna clown. You know. Clown's gonna clown. It's all good. But yeah, it's the BlackWatch. And we gotta stay up with our people. Our youngins, we gotta do them better than we were done. We gotta give them the information. We gotta give them the information before they get out in this world. They're not gonna like it. They don't wanna sit down. You know, they're gonna wanna sit there and play on their phone. Okay, I'm gonna sit you in front of some shit. I'm gonna let you see some shit. Then you take them places. You take them places that are different than shit that they've ever done, they've ever been a part of. And show them. That's why vacations are good, because they can see one side. And then you need to take them to a place where there's people that never go on vacation. You got to show them from one end of the pendulum to the other. And where you are somewhere in the middle, put the time in. By all means, do not be silent. Do not just stay inside of the box and be comfortable. It's like we forgot how to be families. And respect to anybody that raises a family the way they raise their family. But you got to understand, every child needs that balance. That's how a child gets here. A child needs that balance. A child needs a man and a woman in their life. It may not work out with the parents. It might not be a mom and a dad. However you blend it, that's all up to you. But at least blend it. Because if you don't, and you try to have a child raised by all women, no man in their life, or a child raised by all men, no women in their life, fucking up. You're fucking up, and you're chemically setting that kid at a disadvantage. Kid needs the balance. Needs the balance. You hear me? It's a BlackWatch. Subscribe to the channel. Or don't. I'm going to keep saying the same shit, but different. One love.